I think they asked The Rock like years and years ago.
They've
They
been
asked him
working
if he
on it
was
for like
gonna,
10 years, I think.
yeah, 10 years. I asked him if he was gonna be Black Adam, and he said, "I'm sure I am, buddy."
Hmm.
It's been a while, but so just to let you guys know, spoilers. This has already been out over the weekend. I'm pretty sure, but we're gonna dive into that cameo. I think everybody knows about it already,
Yeah.
but we're also just all overall just gonna talk about this film, what we liked, what we disliked. I'll go off the bat, Chase.
Hmm.
I it's not that I really disliked it. It's I had and when it comes to movies, the way a movie how it it does its job, or even if it's like the most horrible movie, yeah, it
Yeah.
gives you something, and that's like a feeling, right? It's a feeling, whether it's good dialogue, whether it's a tense moment, whether it's action, like a
Yeah.
feeling. You feel something, a big death. You have that feeling. You walk away. You're engaged in on this what we're seeing on the screen.
Yeah.
Black Adam did nothing for me. I had no feelings whatsoever about this movie.
Yeah.
There is a lot of good things about it, but I really came out of the theater not feeling anything. Like it's a movie I'll never watch again. It's a
Yeah.
movie that I kind of was just like sitting there and I knew what was the cameo. So I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm
Well,
basically
cameo.
watching this movie just to see that
Just
cameo.
to get to that cameo. Yeah.
What are your feelings about it, man?
I think the famous movie TikToker Straw Hat Goofy said it the best. The movie's aggressively okay. It's like
That's on point. That's so on
it's just
point right
like
there.
it's so like the act. It's all if you want to just like great action, like it's got really good action. So like I think you're really into it for this action set pieces. But other than that, like there's nothing terribly wrong with it. But there's just nothing great about it. It's just nothing. You're right. There's no feeling in it. There's no
Mhm.
kind of heart to it. It's just kind of a, they've said they've been trying to get this going for 10 years, and like this is kind of what you get. It's definitely not the worst DC's done, but it's also not. I mean, maybe they weren't trying to take any risk with it or what, but yeah, it's aggressively okay. It's there. It's a movie. It's
Paul, I'm
not.
gonna I'm gonna do a
Yeah.
review on Chainsaw Man. Don't worry.
Oh,
I'm on
nice.
episode one. Just let you know.
Yeah.
Welcome in, Paul. No, dude, that's so on point because like it has everything, right? It has everything that I don't know. I don't know if it's whether it's like uh superhero fatigue at this point because we've
Yeah.
seen it all, and everything that they did in this film was everything that you've seen already. You've seen Ant-Man, you've seen X-Men, like the X-Men movies, right? The early
Yeah.
2000 movies. You've seen Doctor Strange. You've
Yeah.
seen so many elements that this movie has presented in other superhero movies. Sometimes done better, and then sometimes like it's but it's The Rock really. I found this like I don't know too much of the lore of Shazam and Black Adam, but I know enough
Yeah.
of it to know that I feel like The Rock is just doing his thing because he took over this whole project basically, and I'm
Yeah.
just sitting there. I'm like, why can't Black Adam be a villain? Because
Yeah.
he's not. He's not a villain in the movie. He's absolutely not.
He's the I don't think he does really anything that villainy besides killing bad guys the
And I don't
entire
even
time.
think that's that big of an anti-hero. Like I've seen
No.
Punisher do way like
Yeah.
he's borderline, right? And then
Yeah.
that's what I love about Punisher and Daredevil. They're so conflicted on both sides, even though
Yeah.
Daredevil's done some messed up stuff. But with Black Adam, and it's funny, Cassandra was like telling me, she's like, "Oh, all he did, he didn't even really do that much to warrant like the Justice Society and
No.
Amanda
Yeah.
Waller and Superman to come and
Yeah.
like put him in check because he's basically like Superman killed way more people in like
Yeah.
Man of Steel, and and Batman has killed people in this
Yeah.
universe because this is Zack Snyder's verse.
There's
Still,
yeah.
I don't understand why they didn't do. This is so disrespectful, especially since this movie's coming out next year. I
Mm.
don't understand why they don't bring in Shazam. I did not understand that whatsoever in this film.
Yeah, why they didn't tease him or anything. They didn't talk, they didn't talk anything about him. It doesn't make sense because those two are iconic. Like that's an iconic superhero villain kind of thing for comic books.
Those
And
two are those two linked together,
yeah,
and you could have still had like this morality with the Rock and Black Adam and stuff.
yeah,
He could still be an anti-hero, but you want to. I would have loved to see him more in the villain side, and I
yeah.
would have
Me
loved. They
too.
needed. I thought, why didn't you bring Shazam in the first movie, and why did you not even
Makes no
mention
sense.
Shazam? You only mentioned the Wizards, of course, because
Yeah.
he literally says Shazam in the
Well,
movie.
yeah, that's all
That's
that
his
like they're
powers.
it's so obvious they're doing like connected and all that stuff, and
Yeah.
he's there, and there's the same wizard that gave Shazam his powers in the movies. You have a Shazam movie coming out soon. Like, what was the reason you guys they didn't combine? Or
Are they gonna mention him in Shazam too? I think they did like
they
mention him a
have
little
to.
bit in the first one when they're all sitting on
Yeah,
the thrones and stuff. So they have
Mm.
to, right?
Yeah. I feel like you have to. You have to do maybe they'll make that the end credit scene where it's like,
Hmm.
oh, if someone comes up to him and is like, hey, you're not the only one or whatever, you know. But
Yeah.
but yeah, it makes no sense why Shazam's not a part of this.
I'm gonna say the positives about this movie is that
Okay.
I think the casting was great. I think the overall direction that these characters they made, like I think the script is terrible. I think the
Yeah.
script is so bad. At one point, I was just like sitting there watching this. I'm like, who wrote this? Who wrote this dialogue? Who wrote
Yeah.
the setup? Like, who did this? But I don't think it's the actor's fault. I think I know a lot of people were praising Pierce Brosnan as Doctor Fate, which
Yeah.
I really liked. I didn't like go, oh my god, he's my new favorite character because I think they didn't give a lot of the Justice Society they were there, but it
Well, there are a
wasn't.
lot, but they felt like I don't know, they weren't too.
There was no meat towards it, right? They were just
Yeah.
there to set up the next action
Well, they
scenes,
kind of just
quip,
did the same exact things over and over again. Like Hawkman again and again was just like, "Don't kill people, killing bad," and then trying to fight Black Adam again, and then don't
gets his
kill
ass
people,
kicked
get his ass.
multiple times.
It's like don't kill people, we don't kill, and that's all he
Oh my
does the
god, yeah.
entirety of the movie. It's like each one of those characters were kind of repetitive in what they were, and there was nothing kind of to them.
Once again, though, I did like the actor as Hawkman. It's just
Yeah, he was great. He was
just
really good
his dialogue and them having him do that multiple times.
again
Yeah,
and
it
again.
was a joke. It was such a
Yeah,
joke because you're like, dude, even Black Adam says like, bro,
like it just
stop.
yeah.
Like you're gonna get, how this ends. Like, and I didn't
Yeah.
even think Black Adam's. I thought the action scenes were okay, but I didn't even
Yeah.
think Black Adam was that great when the power wise and just like fighting wise either.
Yeah, I mean, they just kind of made him. I mean, they made him out to be like they did. He does not give two shits, and that's kind of like half his fights are like he doesn't care. Like his killing, like he does not care about. He just kind of casually just kills people if they're in his way, without any remorse, and that's kind of the bulk of it. Like they don't do too much else with him.
Yeah, like his lightning powers or
Yeah,
or whatever, I just I did like it was in the trailer, but I did like when he does like kill all those like mercenary guys or the guys who were trying to get the crown.
yeah,
That was a pretty cool like
same.
introduction towards him. I like the
Yeah,
cloak. I like,
yeah.
and the Rock looks great. The
I think
Rock,
he looks great as Black Adam.
he looks fantastic. I know they wanted to put him originally in a padded suit, and then he's like, no, 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 no. We're not
Yeah,
doing padded suit. Like this is like all muscle, baby. There's
yeah,
one shot too where it has the back of his head, and I'm just like, there's like no neck there. And they made
yeah,
this suit like super, like this dude's a monster. He looks
yeah,
good. He looks
yeah.
good. He looked good when he was like sitting on that throne, the
On the
iconic
throne and
cover.
destroyed it. Yeah,
Yeah, he
that was
was.
cool.
He looks great. He says little in here, which is fine for me.
Yeah.
It's just I just think that the script is so bad and like it doesn't do him any service. Like I think it just would have been so much better if he was actually a straight out villain. Like
Yeah,
give
me
me a
too.
reason why he's fighting Superman at the end of this film, other
Yeah,
than like don't come over here, or, and
yeah.
bring them all. I felt like the
There's
whole
no
movie they were just
reason for it.
trying. Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like they were trying too much for this to
It's
happen.
yeah, it makes no sense because I mean the whole thing. I guess the one thing they were afraid of is him exploding and going crazy like how he did in the
Oh
past,
yeah.
which he
Hmm.
does, again. But then he like controls at the end of the movie, and so it's like, what? Okay, so what's the big deal with him now? Like Amanda shouldn't hate him. Amanda should love having someone that doesn't care about killing people that need
I
to be
know,
killed.
right? She,
Yeah.
she could have worked the deal, yeah,
I
for
guess her
sure.
biggest scare, like fear of him, would really just be not being able to keep him in check because he wouldn't fall in line. You know.
Yeah, he bends the knee to
That's
no
no
man,
one.
nobody,
Yeah.
no one. Yeah,
Which I still can see him being a great villain. And again, if they bring in another Shazam movie with him being the main villain to just like finding a way to do it, I can see it being really good.
I hope he's a villain because this movie was just like he's not even really a villain. So I'm just
No, he's
like,
not.
this is kind of lame. I wanted the whole hook was like he kills people and he's kind of villainy, but I
Yeah.
didn't feel. I mean, this is shit I've seen already
No.
in this universe,
Yeah.
especially with Peacemaker.
Mm.
You know what's so funny is now that I think about it. So his whole thing, right, was for him to stop him from exploding with his powers because he can't control it.
Yeah.
Who the hell does that and was so good in the series that they didn't rip it off because the season didn't drop yet, but we've already seen this. We've already seen this from Soldier Boy, from The Boys.
Yeah.
We've seen this, man.
Yeah.
There's
I
so much in here we've seen already.
everything. I mean, I feel like honestly everything in that movie is so generic. I mean, down to the rebellious kid who just teaches the hero how to be a hero. He skateboards around and
I was
sneaks
absolutely gonna.
past adults.
Oh my god, I was gonna get to that too. That was the next thing I was gonna present.
We can get to that
I
later if you want to, but
fucking hate
hate that
this kid. I hate I'm not one for says like fuck them kids. Usually, like I know a lot of people don't like kids in movies. Sometimes it does get annoying.
Sometimes amazing, sometimes terrible.
This kid was annoying and so bad.
So annoying.
The acting was terrible. Yeah, him skateboarding around, and you know what? The mom in this movie, the Tomb
Terrible.
Raider chick, is a terrible
Terrible
mother.
mom.
She's a
Terrible mom.
terrible mom.
She's
Like,
a terrible
what
mom.
are you doing? Why is he with you? Why is he doing? Why are you
Yeah.
so stupid? There's a
Yeah.
lot of stupidity in this movie, but that kid was just super annoying. Now the one awful part is though in movies they go into the studio, they record some lines, and maybe what's it called? It's AR, something like that, where like they're doing this speech and it's obviously recorded in the booth and it's a
Yeah.
faraway shot. You don't see their mouth move or you see their mouth moving and they're trying to no, it's the
Yeah.
audio from the post filming of it.
Okay.
So he does that speech. Awful.
Yeah.
The delivery is so bad. And I hated Black Adam and this kid too throughout the whole
Oh, them
movie.
two. There was just it was every scene that kid was talking to Black Adam was cringe as shit. I couldn't
So cringe.
stand it.
Like tell the man in black. Like,
Black.
oh my
Yeah,
god.
and then
dude, it
like
doesn't
him
work.
acting like dumb towards like the being in the future, which like I get he's not used to that timeline, but this whole like kid teaching him how to be in the future and him being like dumb to it and all it was just weird. It was just did not work for me.
It was so dumb.
Yeah.
The special effects were pretty good. Special
Yeah.
effects were good.
His skinny body though.
It's terrible.
They've
I know.
done that
And where
anytime
we seen that before? Captain
Uh,
America, baby. We've seen that in Captain America
I know.
1.
I think of Central Intelligence where Rock had the fat body.
Oh, that's true. They deep faked his face on a fat body.
Yeah, on a fat
Yeah,
body, and then
but this one was bad too. This one was
is-
just like because
you
he's
get
just
rid of his broad shoulders, his neck, his head looks so weird.
like early WWF days. That's The Rock. But like
Yeah.
now that we see this monster of a man he is, it's just
Yeah.
so funny seeing him
It
just
is.
they put a face right there.
Yeah,
So funny.
Yeah, which I mean, I was gonna just. I mean, we'll go. I'll talk about this later.
Okay. I'm just gonna say like the special effects were not bad. The special
No.
effects like Adam Smasher was pretty good on him.
Yeah, I thought
Um,
the Wind Girl was cool. She was cool to look at.
Cyclone. I was hoping
Yeah.
Smasher would smash Cyclone. Get that booty, baby. No,
Mm.
she looked great too. The effect looked good. They just didn't have too much to do in here. I
Yeah,
think
I didn't like Adam Smasher as a character. Actually, I was really kind of annoyed by him. I
as a
didn't. I
char-
just didn't feel like him. What was his purpose in being there besides being a joke? And it just kind of was dumb.
yeah, I mean, like he was like a mix of like the Flash and I guess a little bit of
Mm.
Ant-Man for sure.
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
Yeah, I did like the relationship between him and Cyclone. I did like that. It felt like they were building into something, but they didn't do
yeah.
anything with it.
No,
Doctor Fate, like I said, I mean, Pierce Brosnan is, I like him in this role.
I think it was a great
I
cast.
think he'll come back. I'm hearing theories about like him, because the helmet, you have to destroy the helmet to actually destroy, the person, or the helmet gets passed on to somebody else.
Yeah,
So it's kind of like the ring, the Green
yeah.
Lantern's ring. Once somebody
Okay.
dies, it gets passed on.
Yeah,
But I did like, for whatever, if he doesn't come back, he did a good job. He looked good in the suit.
yeah,
He's really, really, he looks good for his age. He's really old.
yeah.
So I didn't expect him to do a lot of action scenes. Overall, the effects were not bad. The effects were really, they're better than what I've seen lately, especially
Yeah,
with Thor:
just
Love
out
and
of
Thunder.
Marvel. Yeah,
Oh my
yeah.
God, Thor: Love and Thunder. Everybody knows about the infamous Heimdall's son and how he
Oh yeah,
communicates with Thor, and it's just so bad. It's so
yeah.
bad. Yeah, what were we gonna say, Chase? What were we gonna bring up?
What was I bringing up? I was bringing up. It's on the tip of my tongue. It was you were mentioning. Oh shit! What was it? I honestly forget now. You mentioned something I wanted to divert away from the visual effects, but I can't think about what it was now.
Oh yeah. I
I
mean,
forgot.
well, the dialogue was just terrible, dude. The
Something else I
dialogue
thought was
was
terrible.
so
Yeah, the dialogue was bad.
so bad. Like the whole. Oh, there's one thing. Okay, this is the one thing that irritated the shit out of me. I'm just like going back and forth on good and bad here, but the one thing
No,
that
yeah.
irritated me so bad was like every scene either had licensed music or score underneath
Oh yeah.
every scene. They would not let a scene breathe. Like there was a lot of dialogue between Dr. Fate and Hawkman, and they're
Yeah.
talking about like he goes straight out like Dr. Fate's powers. I like where he kind of could see a little bit of the future, and he knows
Yeah.
who's gonna die and how they're gonna die. So he's telling Hawkman, or Hawkman's like, "Oh, so you know who somebody's gonna die? Is it
Yeah.
Adam? Is it?" I thought that was pretty funny. Is it Adam
Yeah.
Smasher? Is it Adam Smasher?
Yeah, that was
But
pretty fun.
that was pretty funny. But then he's like, no, it's like he pretty much is hinting it's him.
Yeah.
So it's a scene that it's dialogue going back and forth, and then there's a couple
Yeah.
scenes with Adam Smasher and Cyclone. Like these are dialogues that
Yeah.
you see in movies that go back and forth, but they're fucking undercutting it with score, like making you
Yeah.
try to feel something because the music's trying to push you to feel something.
Yeah.
Dude, take the music out, let these actors do what they need to do, and stop throwing fucking music every scene. Every
Yeah.
scene had music. And sometimes they didn't even need it. Like they absolutely, there was one part when it's the one you see in the trailer when you're saying Hawkman says, "We don't kill people," and the music's swelling up, and then it
Yeah.
stops for the Rock to go, "Well, I do," and then it goes
Yeah.
back to the score. It was not, that was annoying the shit out of me,
It was
man.
rough. I remember what I was thinking of too, because they were talking about his skinny body, and it reminds me of like going into his backstory, of him, And I was like, first of all, the trailers completely spoil the fact that it's that his son is the one like died and all that stuff like that, and
Yeah,
like
he's
so like
holding
from the
him.
very beginning, I was like, oh, he's the dad, it's not the son. From early, like pretty early on, I figured out I was like, oh, that's the dad, not the son. You know, who's
Hmm.
Black Adam, whatever. And so like I felt like I don't know, that backstory I kind of like I like the idea of him not being the hero, the hero saving him, even though he probably didn't deserve it, and he's not the hero that his son was and all that stuff. But it was kind of, I was like, it was kind of just done poorly. And yeah, the trailers kind of ruined that for me because I was like, oh, the trailers say like he watched his son die.
Dude, I thought the son was gonna be like the Black Adam from the comics and
They kind of made
War.
him look like it. Like there was one scene of him more in a silhouette, and it looked like he had like the hair, like the like
Yeah,
because
right.
like it looked like him in a silhouette of him. But when they actually did a close up of him, it didn't.
I thought that was good, or that, or I thought The Rock was actually the. No, I thought he was the dad. No, that's exactly what yeah, that's exactly what. But it would have been cool if like the kid was actually the Black Adam of from the comics. That would have been like a nice little twist, where you could
Yeah,
change a lot too. After that, you could just have, Black Adam is not like a name that were given
yeah,
to him. His name was different too. Like Black
yeah,
Adam is just the name of the power he's given. So I
yeah,
thought that's a good way to like differ. You could say that this isn't the one from the comics that and you could differentiate
yeah,
the two, but they didn't do that. So
yeah.
let's talk about the villain. What do you think about the CGI villain?
Forgettable. I mean, kind of cool looking, but like, I mean, just a very generic bad guy because I'm bad. I mean, it was a whole like family line thing. I don't know. It didn't really do much for me. I was like, cool, like Big Devil, someone that's powerful enough to fight against Black Adam. So, I mean, I like the chant, like two champions going against each other kind of idea, but I
Yeah,
don't know. There's another forgettable comic book villain. Nothing really.
definitely reminded me of the first Suicide Squad, the end
Yeah.
battle of that one.
Yeah.
But this one, I mean, I like his design. You're right. His
His
design looks
design's
great.
pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
definitely felt like a video game type boss.
But shit, this was like 5,000 years or something like that, and this family's still holding a fucking grudge over
I
that
know, dude. Boo,
shit.
get over it, man. Look
Get
where you're
over it.
living, dude. Yeah, like they
Fuck
just taking
yeah.
over shit. What are you trying to
Yeah.
do here? Um,
Yeah,
yeah, I mean,
I hated him before. I was better when he was a devil, but when he was that one guy, I did not like
oh
him.
yeah, the one
As
guy
an
you see in
actor, like
Tennessee.
how painfully obvious they made it from the beginning that he's an asshole
I
betrayer. It's
know.
like,
And
yo,
then
yeah, it's so obvious. It's stupid.
pointless when he was like telling the guy, "Make I wanted you to make it look real," because like he
Yeah.
punches him and everything, and like it's so pointless because they, like that didn't even really matter in the end of
No.
things, I guess. Um, the one thing I didn't, so I thought the design was cool. I just thought the execution was eh. Um, there's just your big battle, very generic, very vanilla.
Yeah.
Black Adam using his stupid fucking line and to ripping the crown off.
Cool, I split
The
him though.
the Army of the Dead were so dumb,
Yeah.
and how easily they got defeated by the
Funny, just
chubby
some people
man
with pipe.
and
Yeah.
Tomb Raider
It
girl.
was funny how he's like, I died from electricity and just starts going at him.
Yeah,
That was
yeah.
pretty funny. But yeah,
Um.
and I felt like I've seen the whole kid inspire the adults to fight back
Oh,
thing like so many times. I'm like, do we really need to
I
fucking
close my eyes. I put my head down. I'm
do
like, dude, what are we
how
doing
many
here?
times have we seen that in
And the
movies?
shot
It's
where he's like rolling in the skateboard
yeah,
with his little army behind him was freaking terrible. Like I
so
hated
bad.
this kid so much. I
So
did
much.
not. I don't want to hate a kid, but this motherfucker, like this kid, was just
Yeah,
bad, dude.
so
Um.
bad. He just almost just as bad as Daredevil's two. I mean, sorry, not Dare. Deadpool 2 kid.
Oh, Deadpool 2. You know what? I'll take Deadpool 2 kid.
You take him over this one.
I'll take him over this one. At least like
Am I?
Deadpool 2 kid got the Juggernaut
Yeah,
out to
that's
play.
true. That's true. I'll go Deadpool 2 kid. He
Yeah,
was
and
more.
I'll give him he does that sick little rope, and
Yeah,
like he did a good job on that. But this kid, dude, was so fucking annoying.
so
Like, and
no.
then him explaining, "Oh, you got the flight and blah blah blah." Like he's so
Yeah,
ecstatic on, dude. This you don't even know if this guy is a good guy. Just because they said he's a champion doesn't
yeah,
mean he's a champion, you know.
yeah.
And obviously he wasn't a champion. So whew.
It's yeah.
What'd you think about the mom?
Mama's all. I mean, again, everything generic. She's all right. She's
She's
just
fine.
another
Yeah.
shitty mom who who
She's a
wants.
bad mom. She's a
Yeah,
terrible mom.
I do like how she like. And again, there's no point in like saying taking like she's on Black Adam's side over the
Oh yeah, I know.
B Team
Everybody's
Justice League, but I like how she takes that side. You know, it's like, oh, it's okay to go dark, whatever, but it's still like
it was so
I don't
cringe
know.
though. The dialogue,
Everything
like I
was.
said,
Everything, yeah, it's very cringe.
um, they championed The Rock. That those people were like, fuck it, I don't even care. I
Yeah,
didn't
they
care. It
were
was
like, "What the
Sabak.
fuck?"
Let's do it. You know,
Yeah,
let's just get a champion in here.
they didn't really lean into because they talked about it a little bit and all that stuff, and they talk about it a lot, but they don't go into it well enough of like the fact that they're a country that's been ignored by the likes of Superman and all these other heroes that are
Which is like
saving like
intriguing.
America. Yeah, I don't know.
It's
They don't go
intriguing,
into that
dude.
enough. Like they could
Yeah.
have done that so much better. And it's like they could have done a whole like if you wanted better dialogue, better action, you could have gotten a scene where she gets really emotional about it and being like yelling at them, like y'all never, you're never
Oh
here
yeah,
for
she
us. You
mentions
never,
her husband
yeah,
got killed. And I'm like,
exactly.
whatever. Like she
Yeah,
never. She's just like, yeah,
okay,
my husband died for
yeah,
this.
husband
That
dead.
was
Yeah,
um,
but
and
yeah, they
and
could
then
have leaned way more into that.
and then the thing was she wanted to get this crown, right?
Yeah,
She gets the crown, but
she did nothing
the whole idea is like, what are you gonna do with it now? I can't let it go and fall into the hands
of evil
of.
people.
Yet she led the people
Nah, to it.
to it. So,
Yep.
mm,
It's
mm.
yeah, it's like what yeah, she just takes it and puts her son in danger and doesn't
Yeah, go save him. Well, bitch, if you would have told
yeah,
him not to, you would even sent him away somewhere, you know, where they didn't find
yeah,
him or something. But oh
yep,
my god, what else is good about this movie though? I mean, I guess if you're looking forward to the next one, with let's talk Superman. All right, let's talk about
yeah,
future DCU
yeah,
here. The big thing is that Henry Cavill is back, which I
yeah.
like Henry Cavill as Superman. I don't like
Love him.
Superman as a character.
Yeah,
I'm not. I'm a Batman guy. I'm even a Wonder Woman guy. Superman is not up in my top 10, but I
yeah,
understand the importance of him. I know he's iconic, and without Superman, a lot of crazy great stories doesn't come unfold with other characters.
yeah,
So when I saw Man of Steel, I really liked it. That was like the one Superman movie. I was like, dude,
yeah,
Henry Cavill has that physique. He looks like Superman. I see this guy in interviews. He's very charming. He's very charismatic. It's just
yeah.
Zack Snyder
The
wanted to
ultimate,
make
right?
a, yeah, he wanted to make him an evil Superman, and it didn't happen because Zack,
Yeah,
got the boot.
yeah,
The whole thing with The Rock, and he spoiled it himself before this movie ever even came out. What I heard, Chase, is that from I think Grace Randolph was talking this too. I don't really agree with her a lot of stuff, but she does have some good Hollywood scoops. So if you remember, The Rock went to Comic Con. He went to
yeah,
Comic Con. He promoted Shazam, and I think one of the fans asked him like, "Which Superman? Like, who are you gonna fight? Are you gonna fight Henry Cavill Superman?" And he, gave a spiel basically. I'm gonna fight whatever Superman, whoever plays Superman comes my way. I'm gonna, Black Adam's gonna face him. The
yeah,
crowd booed. They were pit. They want Henry Cavill as
yeah,
Superman.
yeah,
The Rock saw that, and he's the one that's pulling all the triggers. And he said, we're gonna do this cameo." Henry Cavill came in, I think a month after that, and did a cameo. Now Henry Cavill is not signed just yet to multi movie deals. He did come out and
yeah,
say that there's a lot in
It-
store, but there's
yeah.
still negotiations that need to happen. And The Rock's wife is their manager, so
Oh,
Danny
really?
Garcia. Danny
Okay.
Garcia is the manager of both of them. That's why you
Okay.
have Danny Garcia's. They have a production together, and you see her name in the end credits.
Yeah,
So here's the thing, Chase. I mean, DCEU, we thought it was dead in the water. Then we get little tricklings about like Ben Affleck coming as Batman. Maybe Henry Cavill doing this cameo. We did get the Snyder cut. I like the Snyder cut. I thought it was pretty good. It's a long
yeah,
ass thing. Ezra Miller, I think, is definitely out because he's a crazy mofo. But you got
yeah.
Aquaman 2 coming out. Yeah, Wonder Woman 3
You
coming
still have the
out.
Flash.
You still have the Flash movie coming out.
Yeah,
So
you
they're going
still
to
have it.
probably erase some of the timeline and cast other characters.
Didn't fix it. Yeah,
So the big thing, though, that The Rock wants to do, which I think was a huge mistake of not even including Shazam like we talked about earlier, but he wants Superman, Henry Cavill Superman
the
versus
Black Adam.
Black Adam. So, and they're saying that it's going to be a long last or a very like a 3 movie deal kind of feud going on there. What are your
Yeah.
thoughts on this? What are your thoughts about that cameo? And I will say one thing though, I like Amanda Waller popping in here and there.
Yeah, I like Amanda Waller. Amanda Waller's, I mean, the actress behind her and so like that does an amazing job.
Hmm.
She's great in every appearance she's been
Oh,
in.
Viola Davis. Viola
Viola
Davis.
Davis, yeah.
Great actress.
Woman King, amazing.
Fucked up though. On that History in the Woman King, she fucked
Well,
up on
yeah,
that. The
yeah.
true story on that.
No, we know that's true. Yeah, I know
Yeah,
that's true story. Well, the
I
whole
enjoyed the
thing, but
movie,
still,
but
it's a
it's
good
some fucked
movie.
up
But yeah,
shit.
yeah, that
Yeah.
movie is very inaccurate.
That's another discussion for another
That's a
time.
whole nother thing. Yeah. But it's she's great. But I don't know. I enjoy the Rock as Black Adam. Like he doesn't. He's definitely like very not talk a lot, and he's very like this movie. I don't think does him necessarily justice, but I think with good dialogue and good script, I think he just looks the part. Like he really does fit the part of Black Adam. It's hard because Henry Cavill Superman has done best so far in these darker, like in the Man of Steel, where he was, it's a darker kind of Superman take, and I mean Batman vs Superman was trash, but still like, and then Justice League in the darker version, so far he's been played in like this darker version of this darker Zack Snyder world. It'd be weird to see him in if they really mix him in with this Black Adam campiness that they had in Black Adam, so like
There was
I,
definitely campiness in the movie.
yeah, so like it'd be weird to see. So they have to go in Black Adam, very serious villain. Like they have to turn him very serious villain for me to be convinced that he can be a main villain for Superman for multiple movies. They have to really turn him around as a character.
Well, they could also do this idea. The original idea for Zack Snyder's Justice League movies, because there was supposed to be two more movies after the first one, of course.
Yeah,
So the big thing was Batman was having these visions. Flash came to him on
yeah,
it's called Nightmare World. Nightmare World,
yeah,
where Superman is evil. So Lois
yeah,
somehow dies, maybe with their child, and
yeah.
Superman is evil, and Batman is trying to fight against him. They could technically still do that. So
Mm,
maybe Black Adam might not be the crazy villain we all want, but maybe in this continuity, he's actually something we need to fight Superman because
yeah,
Superman could still turn evil. And
I can
then
see that.
what I like is like you could make Superman the villain. If you're going because they're thinking this over, they're doing a 10-year thing where story. You
Yeah,
could make him. You could if you're gonna continue with Snyderverse, and you don't need necessarily to bring Snyder in.
yeah,
How about you continue with that kind of idea and you make this universe where Lois does die and Superman
yeah,
snaps, and then all these remaining heroes, and Black Adam is probably one of the last ones that could like go against them.
yeah,
And how about you have the Flash, whoever it's going to be, the beauty about the Flash is that he could reset everything.
yeah,
He Flashpoint, right?
yeah.
So how about we finish the Snyderverse in a downer, and we create a new universe.
That'd be cool.
And you can have your Black Adam. You can have your little, Rock can have his little cup of tea and say,
Yeah,
I'm still he's because the Rock likes to be the main guy.
he
you
really
know,
does. He likes to be the big, yeah, everyone's favorite and all that stuff in any movie he does.
Yeah, I mean, I think people will get more hyped on an evil Superman versus a Black Adam than an evil Black Adam than a Superman. And I know a lot of people
Yeah, I
want,
know. I like that. I think that's a good idea.
and I know people want that Superman. The good, wholesome, cares for everybody, humanity. This is his home kind of Superman, the Boy Scout, I guess
Yeah,
you used to call him. But if you're gonna continue with what Snyder did, because all these characters are dark, man. Even
yeah,
Batman is darker than he is.
yeah. Well, I mean, if you go an evil Superman I mean, it kind of feel like that's kind of what we've gotten a lot in but at least with two Amazon Prime originals that are amazing and both on Invincible and The Boys, where you have Omni
Hmm.
Man and Homelander, who are basically these stories that are telling of what if Superman and the Justice League and all these people are fucked up
That's
and
what's hot
evil,
right now. That's
and
what's
that's what's
hot.
hot. So like you
Hmm.
would go into it, and I think this would be the time to do it. Is go and turn. I mean, we've seen him evil in the comics. We've seen him evil in video games, like Superman evil.
Injustice.
Yeah, Injustice exactly. It's probably his biggest example of Superman going dark side is Injustice, which basically Joker destroys Metropolis, killing Lois, his baby, you know, his unborn child and all like the whole city he was trying to protect. And so he snaps, of course, realizing that his power, he can control the world on his own, and you know, forces people to fall in line under him. Like that to me has been one of the more interesting, you know, Superman comic book storylines, in my opinion, that I've read or seen and stuff like that, is where he loses everything and realizes like, shit, I can do whatever I want because, you know, I'm the most powerful man here.
Yeah, and you know, like that's that's what's going on, man. I think the villains are more interesting than the heroes, so that's why
Yeah,
Homelander is more interesting than a lot of the. I mean, I love Butcher is the anti-hero for sure. I don't even think he's
yeah.
actually a good guy. I
No,
mean,
he's kind of an asshole.
yeah, that's the morality. But Homelander is such
Yeah,
an intriguing villain, and he has layers too. So
yeah,
you're right. I mean, you still do the Injustice storyline where Lois and the baby do die, but instead of the Joker doing it, you could have Black Adam accidentally killing her,
yeah. I mean, I could see that.
and
Um,
that's what makes this rivalry go. You know.
yeah, I still would rather have Black Adam just join. Right now, with the way his movie was, he fits better in the Shazam, you know, being Shazam villain.
Yeah, I would
But
love to. I mean,
I would think that'd
either
be
way.
interesting.
In
Yeah,
the long run, though, in the long run, I mean, I would love. I'm all down for at least this version to be an evil Superman, and then you could get
yeah,
either Henry Cavill back, or you could recast it, and then you can get a
yeah,
more pure kind of Superman. Same with Batman. You know, I want to see Ben Affleck go out in a couple movies, and then you recast him. I don't think they're going to
yeah.
bring Robert Patterson. I don't want that to happen.
No,
I want the Batman to do his own thing.
yeah,
But with the and then you could keep The Rock. If The Rock is down to do this for many, many, many years, you could
yeah,
keep him as that's the beauty of resetting everything. Everything could either is wonky. Everything could be a little bit different than
yeah.
prior, you know.
Well,
But I
DC's
would love to
already
see it.
gone through resets and stuff like that. They've been going through trying to figure out what the fuck their universe is gonna be,
They've been doing so
and
much better in their single movies than their actual
they
universe.
have been, yeah, like trying to build the universe. They have failed almost every time, but like when they go into these single, like by themselves kind of storylines, like the Batman with Robert Patterson or the Joker, you know, and even you know, maybe Wonder Woman, the first one, like they've just gone kind of solo like movies about them. So, like particularly, they've done phenomenal in a lot of them, but when they when they're going into a movie trying to build up the universe, they've
Mhm.
failed every time. And yeah, and but I feel like The Rock is, from what his promotion stuff like that, he wants to be part of the DCU's come up
Oh,
because
for sure.
he doesn't want to join the Marvel universe, which has already been like big deal for a while now.
Established.
He wants to build on the universe. He wants to be that centerpiece that builds the DCU. You know, I think
Hmm.
Rock like looks at himself like, oh, like hoping that he would come out as like the Iron Man of the DCU, where he kind of sets it all and really gets it going. But
Well,
you know,
we had the
we'll
main
see how
guy
that.
who was running it, Hamada, gone.
Yeah,
I think it was the president or whatever. He wants that piece of the pie with Warner Brothers. He wants
yeah,
creative control. I think what he wants is he wants to be the main guy there and
yeah,
set everything up. I mean, he was really pushing for Henry Cavill to come back. Warner
yeah,
Brother Hamada didn't want him back at all. They're like, no, we don't want Henry Cavill back.
yeah,
Warner Brothers has been changing hands all over the place. I mean, they have
yeah,
been bought, they've been sold, they've been bought.
yeah,
There's a chance they'll be sold again, and there's theories out there that maybe Universal actually buys out Warner Brothers or something like that.
yeah,
And The Rock is tight with Universal. I mean, Universal and The Rock go hand in hand too.
yeah,
The Rock wants a lot of this stock in with Warner Brothers, and he wouldn't be doing this if there was some maybe there was more opportunity in the future because him and Henry Cavill has stated there's a lot more coming,
yeah,
and then that's why the Flash was pushed back. That's why Aquaman has been pushed back because I think they
yeah.
were supposed to come this year, and then they got pushed back a
Yeah, it's
year.
just yes. And this Shazam was this year, and they pushed that back. Was
Hmm.
were they? Maybe they were this year. Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah, Aquaman was Aquaman. I know. Flash was too. Yeah, you're right. All those were this year.
Yeah, and then you got HBO Max, which are not going to be HBO Max no more. They're gonna because they got bought out by Discovery, so they're gonna merge, and it's gonna be something. It's gonna be under one roof.
Oh, really?
So yeah, yeah. I mean, you're still gonna get your Peacemaker season 2. You're
Yeah.
still gonna get Harley Quinn season 4. I mean, that's not in the DCU. I just really like that show.
Yeah, those are really
Uh,
good shows.
yeah, and I think so that when they go and they deliver Black Adam to his cell, basically, I think that chick, the white chick who was talking, I think she's in Peacemaker. I think she is in
Oh,
Peacemaker. I think
how
she's
is she?
the I think she's the
It felt like
the
we were
one.
supposed to know who she was.
I think she's the one with John Cena's character.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think so.
Maybe.
Maybe.
It felt like we were supposed to know who she was, and I was like, oh, what is it?
I think she's the same chick from Peacemaker.
Maybe
I
you might be
can't quote
right.
me on that. Yeah, I mean, Black Adam was, setting up for hopefully better things. They really need to get a good script. They need a better writer if
Yeah,
they are gonna make this a heavyweight fight between Superman and
Marvel.
Black
Yeah,
Adam.
I mean,
Yeah,
they'd be more. They'd be safer going back into Zack Snyder's hands if they could get Zack Snyder. But
I don't think
then
Zack Snyder's done, man.
no, he's done for sure. But I'm saying like they
Yeah.
would anything. They need to find someone to set this universe in the right direction.
They do.
And who
And
has
I think
who has a vision for it, who has a real vision. Like they needed someone to come in and be like, hey, this is what we're gonna do. This is the idea. Let's get working to this point.
Well, it's kind of
You know?
funny, Kevin Feige is the man over there at Marvel, but we've seen a
Yeah,
lot of chunks in that armor with Phase 4 and
yeah.
movies being pushed back. Like
But
there's a
when
lot
yeah,
crumbles going on over there.
well with
Blade,
Marvel, it's Blade's in trouble.
Blade's in trouble. I will say
Blade's
though,
in
did you
trouble.
watch Werewolf by Night?
Look great. That's where like I think
That was
Marvel's
great.
Phase 4 is like showing at least some kind of hope. Is like they're at least changing things up a little bit
Yeah,
and pushing the envelope in some ways, but they're also just kind of bringing out too much like
it's
they're
way
bringing
too
out way too
much.
fucking much. Yeah,
I like DC's going like little by little here. It's just you
yeah.
need to have good product, and I just don't think they really. There just hasn't been a solid run with them.
No, because I mean you had it's kind of weird because I now think about it, the last two big projects they had was Batman, which again by itself not part of the DCEU,
Yeah,
really
just the
damn
whole,
good, high
just a damn
praise.
good. It really reminded
Um,
me of like just a graphic novel, The Batman.
yeah,
Yeah,
yep. And I kind of wish like the DCU would fall in that kind of style and stuff like that. But the last thing they did in the DCU was Suicide Squad, wasn't it?
yeah, it was. It was Suicide Squad too.
Which was a great movie, like super underrated, but doesn't like it just
Underperformed.
doesn't it underperformed really bad for them.
I don't know if it was because of COVID or
I
whatever,
think
because it
it's a
did
little
hit
bit of COVID, and,
everything.
went on
Yeah,
HBO Max.
that was a
Yeah,
good movie. That was a
it's a
really
great
good,
movie. I
solid,
love that
fun
movie.
time. I had so much more fun in that movie than this movie, for
Yeah.
sure.
Oh yeah. Like I would way rather them, build off that movie than build off this movie.
I'm still sad.
You know.
Polka Dot Man died, man.
Yeah, I know his death was sad,
I
but
know.
it was a good movie. It was a movie where they didn't give a shit. They just kind of had fun. Like James Gunn single-handedly just came in and said, just give me what I can. Like I'm gonna do whatever I want with these characters and kill off who we wanted to, and just went wild with it.
Yeah,
Sometimes
and
just
you
gotta
haven't
have
seen
that director.
Peacemaker, huh? You haven't seen
Yeah,
Peacemaker,
I've seen
right?
Peacemaker. I love
Oh, you
Peacemaker.
have. No, yeah,
Yeah,
and Peacemaker was good. Like it wasn't like phenomenal, but it was really good. It was another
yeah,
solid entry to like this kind of lore and stuff.
yeah.
Um, and then you don't count Snyder's Justice League because that was already
No,
a movie
that
that
was
was
just
kind
kind
of
of
made. Yeah,
given. That was kind of given to us. Just be like, here you guys go. This is what you guys
here's a
wanted, but we're
that
not
was your
gonna build
Christmas
off it.
gift.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're not gonna give anything else to it. Which it was hit and miss. I think it was way better than the original. It was really, it had a lot of great going for it.
yeah.
Um, and I saw like what Zack Snyder's verse could have been, and like how good it could have been, but it was,
There was some
you know,
ideas because they still have the scripts and the outlines of where he wanted
yeah,
to take it, but some
yeah,
of his shit is so weird. Like some of the shit I did not want to see on a
yeah.
big screen. Like I
Well,
think they
I
had
mean,
like Bruce with Lois.
oh really? Oof. Yeah, he was
Yeah.
going. I mean, honestly, as long as they didn't give me Jared Leto's Joker again, I would have been
Oh,
fine.
that
That
was. I
I
gave him
was
a chance.
I
gave him a
was in
chance.
defense of him over Suicide Squad. I said, no, give him another chance. And then that like 2 minutes he's in that final scene of Justice League. I'm like, oh, never give me this again.
God,
I was like, never
awful.
ever give me this.
When he
Joker
said the
ever
reach
again.
around with Batman, I was
Oh
like,
yeah,
oh my
it was
God, what are
horrible.
we doing? Yeah,
Yeah,
that's terrible. I don't know. It's DC. This is if any time the time is now to
yeah.
really get some movies going to really kind of
I think it's gonna be on.
overtake
It's gonna be on the
Marvel
Flash. I think the Flash is what they were. I mean, at least were like that was the movie
banking on.
that
Yeah,
they're banking on. And right now, it's been in such trouble because the main actor is a fuck up.
motherfucking Ezra
Yeah,
Miller is
he's a
such
piece
a
of shit, and
weirdo. Yeah,
their whole DCU's been almost ruined, almost too, because of the actors they've been,
they
bringing
canceled
in like
Batgirl. You know,
Batgirl canceled. Yeah, they just went in and said Batgirl's done. They canceled a lot of their shit, and then like Amber Heard happened, and now Ezra Miller, which is even bigger, like happened where Ezra Miller's like a main focal point, a fan favorite superhero in Flash that can really carry the DCU, that can really save it, is now looking at like, oh, he's gonna get his movie, but really Ezra Miller's probably done after that because he's a fuck up.
yeah, and
You know,
well, a lot of people didn't want Ezra Miller as the Flash,
I didn't mind him.
and
Yeah,
I look forward for the Michael Keaton Batman.
yeah, yeah.
I mean,
I'm super
I don't.
excited.
I don't know.
I
We'll
forget the
see.
fact that we've had a trailer for that already.
Yeah,
We had a
there's
trailer
so
for that.
there's
That
so much
happened.
reshoots going on now too.
Yeah,
So who
that trailer
knows?
probably means nothing.
Well, the big thing was they wanted this new Supergirl to take over Henry Cavill's role,
Yeah,
and Batgirl was supposed to take somewhat over
Batman.
Ben Affleck's Batman.
Yeah,
Supergirl was supposed to be it. Supergirl was supposed to come in and take that Superman title away from Henry Cavill, but fucking Rock was like, bitch, nah. He's
Henry
like,
Cavill.
dude, I want Henry Cavill in. I don't want to fight this chick. I want to fight Henry Cavill. And
Yeah.
the heads that wanted Zack Snyder's verse gone all of them are gone basically.
Yeah,
This is just kind of the Rock show now if he wants it.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
yeah, I mean, we'll see. I hope though. I hope because I do look forward to Shazam too because I like the first
I
one.
do too. I liked them.
I
Trailer
hope.
looks pretty good.
Yeah, the trailer was fine. I
Yeah,
really do
looks
hope
fun.
that they do something with Black. They have to. I don't see how they can't
Black Adam.
ignore. Yeah, ignore.
No, there's no
Black
way.
Adam
I think
in this.
it's made decent money, so like, I think the Rock can definitely wants to grow the Black Adam and wants his stake in the DCU. So I just don't. And I think Shazam just has to involve Black Adam. Like they're the same fucking thing essentially.
Exactly.
Like
Exactly.
you can't have like if Batgirl comes, I don't know about the Batgirl movie, but Batgirl movie comes in, you have to mention the fact that Batman was a fucking thing. It's the same thing I feel like with Shazam and Black Adam. Like you have to mention that they're a thing because they're the exact same thing. They
Well,
have the
now-
exact same powers, the exact same abilities from the exact same wizards.
The Flash is going to be it's such a big movie, and it just sucks because
Uh-huh.
the actor is such an asshole.
Yeah.
There's such a that's DC's pivotal movie right there because it could
Yeah.
have set a lot of things.
And it's already almost dead in the water because before it even comes out because of the actor.
I think people still go watch it, but I
Yeah.
do think that they need to reshoot whatever they can, and I think they need to shoot a scene where Ezra Miller is just out, man.
Out,
I think
yeah.
I think he's already kind of come to terms, and he's doing these reshoots to give him a
Yeah.
window out. So
Yeah.
I
Bring
would
in
still.
CW's Flash.
That's what people saying they
That'd be
wanted him in.
remembered.
Was it
Don't
like
mind
Gus something, whatever?
Just something. He was good. I liked him.
I still want a Batman movie with Ben Affleck. I still think Ben Affleck is a great Batman. He's
Yep.
just been in
Thank
such shitty movies.
Thank you.
Like, if I had to say it, dude, I think Ben Affleck's my number one Batman and Bruce. Like a balance towards it. Like if the potential's there, I can't say he's my number one.
I had this argument the other day where I was like, I put him over like Christian Bale, and I was like, honestly, I think it's because he balances
better
it so
Batman.
much better. I just think he's a better Batman, and not a better Bruce than Christian, but a better Batman than Christian Bale, and he
Yeah.
balances it better.
I think Christian was a great, phenomenal Bruce, and I think he was a good
Yeah.
Batman, but he wasn't a phenomenal Batman,
Yeah.
especially with the voice. But
Exactly.
with it sucks because like Batman v Superman, you saw it there. You could see it, especially the warehouse scene.
Yeah.
And this guy's just fucking. You talk about The Rock looking the role as Black Adam. Look
Yeah.
at Ben Affleck in that fucking gray
Looked.
and black
Yeah.
suit.
He
The
was the
only thing
Dark Knight. He
he
was
was the
just
Dark
straight out
Knight.
the Calm Knight. He was the Dark Knight.
Frank
Yeah.
Miller's Dark Knight for sure, and I like that
Yeah.
idea. It's just I didn't like the fact that I would have gave him longer ears though, a little bit longer
Mm,
ears. He
yeah.
didn't look. He kind of did look like a cat more.
Yeah.
This dude, and then Ben Affleck, he does such a good Bruce Wayne. I think
Yeah.
he looks stylish and stuff. I think
Yeah.
he's drinking. I like that aspect to it because there's other versions of Bruce, and I think that's why I liked Robert Pattinson's Bruce a little bit too, is
Yeah.
because he was just so much different. He's gothic. He's more like this is
Yeah.
kind of like he's still that's the main point as his parents is still on his mind. Where Ben
Yeah.
is already still on his mind, but he's already fucking years past it.
Yeah. He's the older veteran Bruce Wayne. He's been around it for forever. This has
Yeah.
been his job for fucking, I don't know, 15, 20 years. Who knows? Been his job for a long time. Batman.
We don't talk about we don't talk about like it's a whole different ball game, and we put Ben Affleck in a whole different ranking. If
Yeah.
Batman v Superman nailed it, man,
Yeah.
if they just
That, I mean,
would have nailed that movie.
when you go back to like DC and like where it all went wrong was simply Batman v Superman.
Yeah,
If Batman v Superman came out and was success, they wouldn't have reshot and fucked up Justice League. They wouldn't have, Zack Snyder's verse would have went on. There probably would have been another Henry Cavill Man of Steel. They would have been a Batman solo Ben Affleck movie. That was the movie where everything just went off the rails. They were like, oh shit, we fucked up. It's too serious. Let's make Suicide Squad as silly as possible. Reshoot that. Fucked up. They fucked up that movie. Then Zack Snyder ends up having to leave for Justice League. They bring in Joss Whedon. They're like, let's make it like the Avengers movie. So it's just like what Marvel did and made their universe all big. Let's do that. Fucked it up. And it just all went downhill from there. It all starts with Batman v Superman.
it all starts there, and it's so devastating. It's probably
Yeah.
it's still one of my most disappointing movies I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
Just because of how do you fuck up that movie, and
Yeah.
how do you fuck up the dynamic of Bruce and Clark?
Clark,
You
yeah,
know?
with two actors who did him well, with two actors who were very good for that movie and like had great moments in that movie, but just the direction of that movie just went off the rails.
And they miscast Lex Luthor so bad.
So fucking bad.
They should have got Bryan Cranston or Idris Elba in that role, but now Idris Elba is already in fucking Bloodsport, so you can't.
Bloodsport, yeah,
can't do that.
you've already fucked that up. Yeah, yeah.
But what I love though is the thing about DC is what I love is at least they are giving us like solo flicks. So say what you want to say about the Joker. At least we got a Joker movie and it was somewhat interesting. I think the Joker is still like the worst Gotham I've ever seen in film.
Yeah,
like it is so bad. Like not in a bad way, like in a good way. Like it is like this is like shit that there's no way Batman's gonna save this shit,
Yeah.
And then I got my detective noir Batman with Robert Pattinson and Matt Reeves. Phenomenal. You know what? I'm giving it a second movie, but I fucking love Robert Pattinson as the Batman. As
amazing.
Batman.
Yeah, as Batman, amazing.
So good. He has the look. I mean, I didn't think I was gonna like that suit as much as I do. I love the boots. I can't wait to see the upgrade.
Just hearing him walk, yeah.
Oh, the walk. Oh, and the Batmobile. Yeah. That's probably one of the most iconic scenes in a while.
You know what I'm thinking though? What Ben Affleck can be really good for if they really bring him back and stuff like that, and because they just came out with the Gotham Knights video game, which is basically Batman dies and it's now up to the Bat family to do it. I was like, man, I have like wished DC would finally bring in a good Nightwing and like some good. Their Bat family is almost sometimes as interesting as Batman, like his dynamic with them and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, like Damian to me, as little shit he is, I still think he's a very interesting character.
Yeah, great character. And like the Batgirl movie was going to happen, but they scrapped it, of course. But like Ben Affleck, I could really see leading a Bat family. Like he'd be a great they already had a little thing that where like Jason Todd was dead because they shut off his suit or whatever, and Batman v Superman with the Joker stuff on it. So like
Absolutely
you
right,
can
man.
you can bring him in and like make a movie where like the Red Hood becomes is like his main antagonist, and like he's bringing in Dick Grayson as his new number 2 or whatever, or like Dick Grayson and Batgirl or whatever, and like do a fan like bring like I think he would be a great that old fashioned like being able to raise these young crime fighters.
Absolutely right, because even you could even change the timeline. Like you could say that he didn't
Yeah,
get Dick Grayson in his Bat family first. He could maybe got
yeah,
Jason Todd with that suit, and then it was
yeah,
Dick Grayson, and then Dick Grayson could be the new kind of like carry here on his
okay.
legacy. Ben
Yeah.
Affleck does not want to do this forever. Or Ben Affleck is
No.
just actually doing a lot of these projects to finish off, at least his Batman legacy. So
Yeah.
this, because originally Zack Snyder's plan was to kill off Batman at the end of the Justice League 3.
Yeah.
Batman was going to sacrifice himself. So your idea bringing in like at least forming this Bat family and then sending Ben Affleck through to his death, the first I
Yeah.
think Batman to die in on screen would be awesome. I would love that.
Yeah.
That's a great, phenomenal idea.
Exactly.
I want to see it. And then there is also a possibility that so you brought Michael Keaton for the Flash. How about you bring Michael Keaton for Batman Beyond?
That'd be cool.
I would love to see Terry McGinnis
Love
in
it.
there.
Yeah.
I know there was a thought of like maybe like at the end of Batman Rises that they were hinting at Robin, but I was they're thinking of
Yeah.
a Batman Beyond after still in that kind of scenario, but yeah, man,
Cool.
bring it all. Give me Batman is such a great character, and so you could do
Yeah.
so much with Batman. We haven't seen a lot of that. You could
Yeah.
still have all these movies going, and then hell, fuck it. If you want to do like a kind of like a Secret Wars thing towards
Yeah.
the end, try to bring everybody back. I mean, hell, they want one. I think they want one more Dark Knight trilogy movie,
Yeah.
but Christian Bale says he's only going to do it if Christopher Nolan's back.
Yeah.
So that could
That's
be a
Christopher
possibility.
Nolan's. Yeah. I don't know. That'd be wild. I don't know. I think
Bane,
that because they had the Robin at the end of it.
yeah, and Bane is
Yeah.
such an underrated villain, man.
Bane was so good.
Dude,
Just
he's
so
such
fucking
an
good.
underrated. Years later, dude,
Yeah.
fucking Bane is still one of my. Tom Hardy did a fucking
Yeah.
kick-ass job on that.
Such a good job. Yeah. That's what Christopher Nolan did best was in those last 2 movies especially. They're just villains.
You know what's
Those were
funny
so good.
is I think my favorite Batman movie though is actually Batman Begins. I freaking love
Oh, yeah.
Batman Begins. I love Batman
It's a good
Begins.
movie. It's a good
Which is
movie.
great. You see what I'm saying? There's so many Batman movies, but nobody won't give a shit
There's
about
so,
talking about Aquaman 2 or
no
anything
one
like
cares. I'll
that.
just do more Batman.
Yeah, no, they don't care about. It's crazy because Aquaman 1
we
made $1 billion.
yeah. I would think I'd be tired. Yeah, it's true. That movie was mediocre as hell.
Yeah, so I mean,
I
I'm
mean,
looking
the
forward to
water,
John
the water
Constantine.
things, the water. Yeah, true. I would say the water scenes in Avatar look way better and more beautiful than what Aquaman's doing. Or
Well,
what Aquaman did.
It's James Cameron,
Yeah,
man.
it's
That dude
James
lives.
Cameron.
That dude lives in water, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, James Wan back directing Aquaman 2. I don't think he's gonna make $1 billion like last time. I don't know how it
No.
made $1 billion like the
It
last
throws
time.
me off every time. I'm like, it baffles me. It feels like
Well,
every movie. It feels like every movie was making $1 billion at that time.
yeah, even the Joker man made like a fucking
Yeah,
$1 billion,
it
and
felt
you're
like
just like,
every movie was making $1 billion. It's like, how the fuck is this happening? I don't think the second one will. Wakanda will. Wakanda Forever is gonna make $1 billion
oh,
easily.
yeah. I mean,
Easy.
there's still main players. There's still main movies to come out from Marvel. I mean,
Yeah.
Chase, to end it here. I mean, do you feel like DC can step up though? Or do you think there's a little bit of a
I'm
chunk
not.
in Marvel's armor? Are you like are you
No.
kind of tired with superhero movies, or you're
I
still on
mean,
board?
I get fed like every 2 months we have a new superhero movie to talk about, and honestly, I don't mind it. I still love my superhero movies. I get into them. It's been a while since I felt like I've had. Well, I'll say the Batman was probably the best one of the year, and it was the one that's like, damn, this is why I watch superhero movies for these really good stories. Um,
Well, Spider-Man No Way Home, you could go back to that, and it's just such a
yeah, I'd go
great,
back.
it's just a
Yeah,
great nostalgia. They did a good job. They did fan service right on that movie.
they did amazing. They did it just right because it still made a good movie with fan service. It
Yeah,
wasn't just a movie about fan service. It was a great movie with fan service. which is hopefully what like kind of the Flash does, I guess, when with you get Michael Keaton and things like that. I don't know. I don't think Marvel is as dead as people say. I still think there's just Marvel has a strong grasp on people. I think Marvel will have a strong grasp for people, and I think they'll find ways to bring people back in because with Wakanda Forever coming out, that's going to make a shit ton of money, and it's going to be a big deal. I mean, I hope it's good.
I
If
hope
it
it's
ends
good.
up being a solid movie, it's going to pull in a ton of money. It's going to pull in a lot more people. People are going to be back a little bit more into Marvel. And they have some big projects. They have a plan. They have a future, and it's better than what DC has right now, which is still just trying to figure out what their shit is and what they're
Yeah,
going to be.
there's after all
These
these years
Marvel
later.
knows what they're going to be, and they know what they're kind of going to do with it. We can theorize and talk about it and be kind of accurate on what's going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, like the Ant-Man trailer just happened, and they're introducing Kang, this new villain. Well, DC is over here, and they're just starting with Black Adam. They're starting with this, this hype for this bout with Black Adam and Superman, which I think,
Yeah,
why you need to bring Shazam into it because of the lore and stuff.
yeah,
I don't think Marvel is dead when it comes. They're never gonna die. I think their
yeah,
creativity is dead. I think them hitting home runs like they used to in the phases is dead. So I don't think when
yeah.
you go into a Marvel movie, it's gonna be a banger anymore. It's gonna either gonna be good or bad, but mostly kind of misses. That's what, and I just think Marvel's television is really really bad. I think that's the one thing that I
It's
know they're
bad. I just
set.
think it's called mediocre.
They're very mediocre, very
Yeah,
mediocre after watching She-Hulk and stuff. Where DC, I mean, they got some good shows on there. They got like,
they do.
I hear Titans is really good. Harley Quinn, the anime series, if you haven't
So
watched it, is
good,
so good.
so good.
So like, and then but the problem is their movies, they're actual
Yeah,
live action movies. I think this was another kind of miss, honestly, but I could tell it's setting up for more stuff to come.
yeah,
Think that Marvel is here to stay, but I think if they don't watch their back and DC has somebody who could actually do something with this universe, they have competition, which is not a bad thing. That means
no,
that means you hire writers who are not lazy or attacking fans and all that stuff.
yeah.
And I think DC is definitely the underdog, and I want to see the underdog at least win a couple rounds. I want to see them prevail. I
Yeah.
love both
Yeah, I do
properties.
too. I want both to be successful because then I can enjoy both.
Yeah, I want to see, I like this idea maybe like Dr. Fate in the future or
Hmm.
like, let's see what Adam Smasher could do or
And I can
like
I can do without them.
there could be an interesting movie there though, and then or a TV show. Suicide Squad, I would like the Suicide
I
Squad to
do
come
love
back.
more.
And then I am absolutely the one thing they have for it that I think a lot of fans are hyped up is I cannot wait for Keanu Reeves back as Constantine in
Yeah, that's
Constantine. I'm not saying that's part of the DCEU, but just to know that Warner Brothers gave the fans what they wanted in another Constantine
yeah,
movie. And I love John Constantine. I want to see a dark Justice League. I would love to see Swamp Thing in there. I would love to see
yeah.
Zatanna. I want to see. Hell, you could have brought Doctor Fate in that. I was kind of yeah, it was kind of weird.
Mm.
So there's good things, man. There's good things that DC could do. It's just Chase. How many years has it been, and they still can't fucking figure it out, man.
Yeah. No, it's been what Batman v Superman came out in what 2015.
Oh god, a
So
long
yeah,
time,
it was a
man.
long time ago,
Long time
man.
ago. Yeah.
And they've just been through the ringer. So yeah,
And they're thinking about doing a Man of Steel 2, which
yeah.
shit, man. They should have done that a long time
I'm gonna
ago.
say everyone's about forgot about that damn movie by now.
Yeah, yeah, not a yeah, man. I mean, it is what it
Yeah.
is, though. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, guys, that's our review on Black Adam, and then we talked a little bit more DC and stuff. It's you either gonna go watch it or not. If you miss it, it's not gonna be that big of a deal. I think the main thing is gonna be
No.
just the Black Adam versus Superman thing.
Yeah.
But next up, we have Wakanda Forever. So we'll see. Another Marvel movie. They're pumping out movies and shows and stuff. I do
Yeah.
recommend going to see for Halloween or Werewolf by Night. Really good. If Marvel could
Yeah. It's
do
a
that,
great
something like
short.
that. Oh, if they could do
Yeah.
something like that moving forward, thank you, especially for the Blade movie.
Yeah. Good luck.
So, and then also with DC, The Aquaman 2, you know, I'm still gonna go watch it. Hopefully I can have a lot of fun. And then of course Shazam 2. I hope Shazam 2 is really
Shazam 2,
good
I'm
too.
really excited for. I love Zachary Levi. He's funny.
Yeah, he's great. And
Yeah.
it's gonna be interesting to see after the Shazam 2 where they're gonna take him because he's getting older, the kid's getting older.
Yeah.
So how are they gonna tell that story? Is it still gonna be Billy or is it gonna be another kid? Like it's gonna be interesting. Interesting going down the
Yeah.
line on that one.
True.
All right, Chase. We are out of
right.
here, guys. Be sure to subscribe, check out all our videos, and you still doing Twitch over there?
Yeah, I do a little bit. I've been a little bit lazy recently, but I'll try to get back on more here soon. So overdue Bobcat 50.
Overdue
On Twitch.
Bobcat 50. Yeah. All right, guys. You guys have a good